why so many people are still to some extent stuck in their life, no matter what. No matter how hard you work on yourself, no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you push, especially. And I'm going to be talking from my own experience as well, because I wish someone said this to me earlier when I was in the early stages of trying to figure it out and trying to understand why I'm constantly stuck and not improving in a ways that I wished that I was improving, or I was not getting the visibility I was hoping for, I was not getting the outcome that I was hoping for, even though I was showing up, even though I was doing the work, even though I was putting effort. So why do I believe that so many of us are stuck, myself included, beforehand? And that is because to some extent in our life, in our subconscious mind, we are still waiting for someone to come around and save us, okay? And this cuts really deep. It took me some time to kind of understand that, because I was always this type of person who was like, okay, very independent, and I wanted to figure out my things. I would often just, travel around by myself, move around, do my things, and I always felt like, okay, I can handle everything, like I'm really independent and I can take care of myself and all of that. So why I was not getting the results I wanted, why I was not achieving the things that I really wanted to achieve, regardless of this knowing that I am really independent and I can take care of myself and that I can do very hard things what other people would consider as really hard. And that is because to some extent I still didn't feel safe with my inner child. My inner child was still waiting and yearning for this feeling of safety and protection and love that she didn't receive when I was a kid, right? And I didn't uncover that until I got myself into hypnotherapy. That's where it all came out, that I had this deep, deep core wound of not feeling enough, of not feeling safe. And that's why I was kind of rejecting the visibility. I was rejecting getting close to someone. I was rejecting intimacy. I was rejecting pretty much being seen in all ways possible in my life and in my business, including. And I want to share this with you because I know that so many people will find themselves in this situation and in this story, actually, where you feel like, I've done this work and I've done a lot of things and I know I can handle hard things, and I prove to myself that I can do many things that are considered to be really hard, and still to some extent I'm sabotaging myself, or I'm not really showing up in a way that I wished I could. Why is that? And that's why it is important to work with your inner child, because unless your inner child, this little you, is feeling safe and protected and loved, it will be really hard for you as an adult to show up in situations without projecting this inner feeling onto others and onto situations and onto events on your life, okay? Because this inner child of you needs to be taken care of first and foremost. And what is your responsibility as an adult? To provide that for yourself, okay? So we are not actually waiting around for anyone else to do that for us. We are not waiting around for anyone else to show up for us, to save us, to protect us. This is when you as an adult have to step up for yourself, by yourself, and do that for yourself. Okay, so you need to take the responsibility and you need to provide this for yourself. I don't know how it will look for you, because all of us are different. All of us have different needs. All of us have different kind of specific needs that we never got fulfilled. And it is now up to you to uncover that and to provide that, so your inner you can feel safe and is not sabotaging your current adult self, okay? And it sounds really easy, but it will take you some time to actually understand and sit with yourself and realize what is it that you are needing from yourself, okay? And how you can start this journey and how you can start this practice, actually what you are kind of projecting onto others, whether you are in a relationship, romantically or friendship, you are projecting onto others like, they are not giving me this, I wish they would give me more of this, or I wish I could feel more loved, I wish I could feel more heard, I wish I could feel more visible. That is where you want to go in, and that is where you want to actually provide that for yourself. Okay, obviously you should also communicate it with the other person so you can kind of both understand mutually where you are standing, but it will be a big factor, and showing you where you need to go and which direction you should go forward into knowing yourself, into uncovering what is missing and what you are requiring as yourself. Okay, and this can take many different forms, many different needs, and many different ways. It is going to be your individual journey, but just being aware of that, just being aware of that hey, this is me. I am right now really struggling, and I'm feeling like I'm not getting enough of this because my inner self, my inner child is requiring this. Can we move ahead with this? Can we give it more? Can we do more of such thing so I feel safe, so I feel protected? And you can even have conversation with yourself about that, okay? It doesn't even have to be with your friends or partner. You can have a conversation literally with yourself. Sit down, talk to yourself, and realize what do I really need? Like, before you start numbing yourself, before you start binge eating, before you start distracting yourself. I don't know what it is for you. We all have our things that we use when we are trying to cope with something. You sit down, you take a deep breath, and you start having conversation with yourself. At the beginning, if you've never done it, it might sound a bit crazy. It might feel a bit weird, like you're having conversation with who? But, sooner or later, you are going to realize, like, okay, let me sit down. Let me uncover this. What do I need right now? What is missing? What do I need? Do I wish I was having more love? Do I wish I was more visible? Do I wish I was heard? What do I need to hear from myself? What do I need to give to myself? Okay? And that's gonna be a process. So try it, do it once. Do it once, maybe journal about it if you feel weird talking about it to yourself, with yourself. Journal about it, get your answers, get your questions answered, because this is gonna shift something in you. I can promise you that. And if you feel up for it, you can share that with the comments, like if you did that, or if you have this awareness, or if you ever try this process, and what it uncovered for you, and how did it guide you in where you were literally not feeling safe, and where you kind of understand yourself better in terms of what did you need, and what do you need in certain situations, what do you need in certain triggers, because there is always some unmet need that you can give to yourself in that situation. Okay, and this is literally how you take your power back. This is how you will take power over your life, over your emotions, over your emotional state, and you will stop reacting and getting triggered left and right and not knowing how to handle yourself in certain situations, because you will get this awareness, deep awareness of your inner self, of your inner child, of your inner being, and you will know exactly what is needed in exact moment, and you will be able to provide for yourself. So you don't have to be going around misunderstood from others, with others, getting into arguments, getting into triggers, but you will be able to provide it for yourself first and foremost, and then communicate it with others. Okay, so it is all about this journey to getting to know yourself. Okay, we are all going back to that, and that's pretty much how you will resolve this situation, how you will get yourself unstuck from many patterns and repeating cycles in your life. You need to get to understand why you are repeating the patterns. What is the why behind? Once you have this awareness, everything will shift very, very fast. Why am I talking about this in terms of being stuck and in terms of your business related or your life related or relationship related. Obviously everything relates with each other, right? Everything connects in one way or another. So if you uncover one thing about yourself, it's going to help you show up in a different way, right? So if you understand that you don't feel safe showing up yourself in a certain situations, or certain situation make you feel unsafe, you will be able to hold yourself through it. You will be able to guide yourself through it. You will be able to kind of coach yourself through it. If we truly understand ourselves, if all of us truly took time to understand ourselves and to work with ourselves, or work with these inner feelings, we would be able to guide ourselves and navigate through. Obviously it helps when you are working with someone, because they can mirror it back to you and they can see blind spots which you are not seeing. But really it comes down to your own awareness, how aware you are of your own inner workings. Okay, how aware you are of your own inner workings, and how can you actually navigate and move through them by yourself, with yourself. So you need to be feeling protected, you need to be feeling loved, you need to be feeling safe in order to show up in the world, no matter what, no matter in which way, no matter how. But you need this inner knowing and inner feeling in order to show up. And then everything will flow from there. Everything will seem like it's possible, even when you felt like it was not. When you make this inner security inside of yourself, you will be able to show up for anything and everything that comes up at you. It is really about how can you show up for yourself. All of this is about actually showing up for yourself, okay? So if you knew that you are the only person who can save you from yourself, who can protect you, who can provide for you, who can take responsibility over you, if you knew that it is you, how would you show up in that way? How would you take the responsibility? How would you take care of yourself? How would you take care of your, let's say, nutrition? How would you take care of your body? How would you take care of your skin? How would you take care of your mental well-being? How would you take care of yourself in general, okay? Because this is all about how you take care of yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup, as we all know. Super cliche thing to say, but it is true, right? We cannot pour from an empty cup. So you first need to take care of yourself, and then you can take care of the others, right? And you can only do so after you've taken care of yourself. And this is not a one time and that's done. This is a lifetime journey. Every single day you need to take care of yourself in one way or another, right? You need to eat every day, you need to drink water, you need to hydrate, you need to take care of yourself, you need to ideally exercise, you need to take care of your mental well-being. All of these aspects are going to build your life. This is how you actually show up for yourself, by yourself, for yourself, and you can be the best version possible. You can achieve your dreams. How can you achieve anything really when you are not taking care of yourself? You will be showing up for people, waiting for them to show up for you. But that's not how it works, right? You need to be able to take care of yourself. You need to put the mask on yourself first in the airplane as well, right? We know that this is how it works. We need to first take care of ourselves, and then we can show up for others. So the point of this video today is how can you show up for yourself, for your inner child, for your inner being, and start being playful about it as well, okay? It's not only about the protection, love, and security, which is very important, but also your inner child is all about play and, exploring, curiosity, all of that. So how can you bring that more into this world? How can you bring that in your life more to honor your inner child, to honor your needs, to honor the play, to honor the curiosity and all of that? How would you show up? And how can you bring that forward? How can you bring this part of you and integrate it in your world and in your life today?